The Pokemon Go Megas are here today, so I hope you guys are ready to max out on these Pokemon because today we're going to check out the best of the best, ranking them as top attackers in Pokemon Go and seeing where all of their movesets stack up because these Pokemon are quite special. They have been taking over for the Kanto starters for quite a while. However, now is the first time we get to realize these in Pokemon Go, and if you guys do need more raid battles, you can definitely check the Discord or the Patreon in the pinned comments below. Jump in there, get exclusive access because I know those groups are going to be going hard, and I can't wait to see who gets what and how much Mega Energy everybody gets because I'm going to be gunning for probably maybe 10,000 for each of these Pokemon. Honestly, I'm that excited about the power behind all these Megas, and I want to lucky trade some of them, and I also want to get Mega level 3 for multiple of them because there are multiple really good combinations of the typing, which we will cover here right now. Okay, so first and foremost, let's start off with the typings of all these Pokemon. So Mega Swampert is going to be water and ground. It's going to max out at 4,975, which is pretty crazy, man. That is extremely high with a best buddy that will be over 5,000. And its stats are so relatively even keeled that this Pokemon is going to be a beast, it's going to be strong, and it's going to be tanky. This Pokemon is going to have the movesets of Water Gun and Mud Shot, which is a premier PvP move, but pretty good for meta attackers as well. And it's also going to have Earthquake, Surf, Sludge Wave, which is pretty good against fairy type attackers. It's going to have Muddy Water, and then finally it will have as a legacy move, but very, very effective, Hydro Cannon from Comday. And this Pokemon being a water and a ground type, when I was in Singapore, if you want to see the vlog up here, it would have been very, very effective for me personally to have a Mega level 3 of this Swampert because I was looking to get XL Candy for a lot of the water type Pokemon out there, including Lapras, and then the Glygars as well for the ground typing. So man, these typings of all these Pokemon are going to be dual and they're going to be very effective. So I highly suggest you guys get at least one, maybe two or three as Mega level 3s to be able to help you out throughout your Pokemon Go XL collecting journey. And then next, we do have the Mega Blaziken, which is going to be a fire and a fighting combination. This Pokemon is going to max out at 4,704, which is also pretty high. It has an attack of 329, which is extremely high. That's actually higher than Mewtwo, but it has a defense of 168 and a stamina of 190, so it is going to be a little bit glacier of a Pokemon. This Pokemon's moveset is going to get Counter and Fire Spin, and then it's going to get Brave Bird, Focus Blast, Overheat, Blaze Kick, and then it's also going to get two legacy moves actually. One is going to be Stone Edge, which is a rock type move, and the other move is going to be Blast Burn, which is the Comday move. So this Pokemon being very, very strong is going to have a very good dual purpose because as of right now, the only fighting Mega we do have is Lopunny. That's going to be normal in fighting. Hopefully you guys already have that at level 3, but now we can have fighting and we can have fire. So we're bringing more about these dual Pokemon for Mega XL Candy collecting, which is always going to serve your game extremely well. And then we have Mega Sceptile, which is going to be 4,585. This Pokemon is going to be a grass and a dragon combination. Another Pokemon with an attack above Mewtwo at 320. It has a defense of 187 and a stamina of 172. So the only thing about this Pokemon is yes, it is a little bit glassy, unfortunately. And this Pokemon being a grass and a dragon type is extremely effective for multi-purposing XL Candy once again. Grass, great. Dragon, great. Imagine an event where you really wanted to collect Tangela Candy and there was also Bagon spawning. Man, these multi-purpose Megas for XL Candy are insane. I cannot stress it enough how excited these Megas are for their power and their dual typings for Mega level 3. Okay, and for its movesets, it's going to get quick moves of Fury Cutter as well as Bullet Seed. Unfortunately, Bullet Seed is not the best grass move, but it's still going to help this Pokemon out. And then we get Earthquake, Dragon Claw, which unfortunately, if it had Outrage, it would really make this Pokemon a fire Mega in the Dragon category, for real. It also gets Leaf Blade, Aerial Ace, and Frenzy Plant. And then as far as the weaknesses of this Pokemon, the Mega Swampert is going to have a double weakness to grass, and that is it. And then as far as its resistances go, it's going to be resistant singly to electric, fire, poison, rock, and steel. And then as far as Blaziken, it's going to be weak to 4 things, which are going to be water, psychic, ground, and flying. And then it's going to have a double resistant to bug and single resistance to dark, fire, ice, grass, as well as steel. And then finally we have Sceptile that's going to have a double weakness to ice. This is going to be the most weak of all 3 of these Pokemon because of the typing combination. And then it's also going to be weak to poison, flying, fairy, dragon, as well as bug. But it's going to have 3 times double resistance, which is crazy, to electric, grass, water, and then a single resistance to ground. So not only is it really weak, but it also is pretty well purposed with its double resistances here. So with that said, now let's check out these Pokemon in their respective categories and how powerful they are. Okay, so before we get into each of them broken down individually, I just want to go over the top 20 Pokemon in Pokemon Go as far as their strengths. And let's see where all of these sit because just a hint, they are all in the top 20 in Pokemon Go, which is insane. Okay, so the number 1 highest one that we have here is going to be Mega Blaziken with Counter and Blast Burn at, remember, we're going going to EP at 53.32. The highest Pokemon in the game is going to be Mega Mewtwo Y at 65.41. And if you guys do want to look about what EP is, you can check the link in the comments below and kind of understand the differences. It's better ranking for these Pokemon as attackers and not favoring DPS and TDO so much, but it's making sure that we get the full scope and not favoring some of the tanky Pokemon a little bit more. And then the next Pokemon is going to be Mega Sceptile, ranked 13th with Fury Cutter and Frenzy Plant at 51.96. And then the Swampert is going to be ranked 16th overall with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon at 51.42. So insane. In the top 16 of all Pokemon in Pokemon Go, strengths is going to be all three of these Hoenn type Pokemon, which is crazy, but some of them are dual moved purpose, so we're going to see where these Pokemon do sit overall. So let's start off with the Mega Swampert. The best moveset on this Pokemon is going to be Water Gun and Hydro Cannon at 51.42, which as we've seen is really high. So then it's also going to have Water Gun and Surf, but it's almost 10 points below, which is pretty crazy. And then if we want to see it as an all ground type attacker, Mudshot and Earthquake at 41.12. So if we move on to the water category, the number one Pokemon overall right now is going to be Mega Swampert with Water and Hydro Cannon at 51.42, followed slightly by the Primal Kyogre, Waterfall, and Surf, which is going to be coming out in the Hoenn tour. If you guys want to check out the complete details, you can check it out up here because definitely going to be great time for sure. So Mega Blastoise is going to be Water Gun and Hydro Cannon at 46.73, Ash Greninja not out yet, but Mega Gyarados at 44.51, Shadow Swampert 42, Shadow Feraligatr 41, and then regular Kyogre at a 40.59, compared to the Swampert regular at Water Gun and Hydro Cannon at 37.02. So if we look at this Pokemon already with the water category, it is the number one Pokemon recommended right now, but doesn't make too much sense to me, and I don't really understand how this works, but maybe at some point I will figure it out, that if the regular Pokemon is stronger, let's say for Kyogre, it's stronger as a regular water than the regular Swampert, but then once they go Mega and Primal, then somehow the Swampert gets above where the Primal Kyogre will be. That doesn't really make too much sense to me. So in my case, in my scenario, even though it is saying this from the stats, I still think that the Primal Kyogre is going to be stronger than this Pokemon, but still, even if it's a little bit stronger, we're looking at a budget Mega compared to a premium Mega for XL Candy. So this Pokemon is extremely useful, extremely effective, very easy to obtain, and it is definitely going to multi-purpose in double categories because also it does have dual ground moves, even though they're not the most effective ground moves, and there's Garchomp, Groudon, but let's see where it does sit off in the ground category. Okay, so the number one Pokemon is going to be Mudshot Earth Power on Garchomp at 51.49, Primal Groudon is going to be 46.66, and then we have Mega Swampert, Mudshot Earthquake at 41.12, followed by the regular Garchomp with Mudshot and Earth Power at 38.78, Landorus, Groudon, and so forth. And then there's one more category that I do want to cover, and that is going to be the poison category, but let's see where this Pokemon does sit because it does have a poison move. Mega Gengar is going to be at the top, Mega Beedrill, Nihilego, Eternatus, Mega Venusaur, Darkrai, Gengar, and then Mega Swampert in the 9th spot, which was not as good as I hoped for. So probably because the Venusaur does not get the stab bonus with the poison type, it is not moving it all the way up. So in the ground category, it's the number one Pokemon. In the water category, number one Pokemon out right now. And it also gets dual typing for Mega Level 3 XL Candy. So this Pokemon is masterful, completely masterful. It's a highly recommend that you get 2 to 3 of these at Mega Level 3 because then you have basically permanent free Mega Evolutions. Not only is it going to be super strong if you ever choose to do duos on legendaries, but it's also going to get you that XL candies for dual categories. Very effective. Really like this Mega Swampert, which is then going to lead us into Mega Blaziken. Okay, so Blaziken, best moveset combination is actually going to be Counter and Blast Burn at 53.32. And then all fire types is 52.55, slightly lower. Then we have the Blaze Kick, the Overheat, and so forth. But then the other thing I want to point out for you guys is the Counter and Brave Bird. That's pretty high there at 47.82, which we will further see here in a minute. So then if we want to go to the all fire category, Mega Charizard Y actually still sits at the top with Fire Spin and Blast Burn at 52.87. Blaziken not too far behind, honestly, there at 52.55. Then we have Mega Charizard X, Shadow Entei, Shadow Ho-Oh, Reshiram in the regular, first non-Shadow, non-Mega at 43.81, Shadow Moltres, Mega Houndoom, Shadow Charizard, and then Ho-Oh at the bottom at 40.84. But there's another category that I also want you guys to check out because we did talk about the flying type. So if we look at the flying type category, Mega Rayquaza is going to be number one with Hurricane at 51.68, Mega Blaziken number 2, 47.82, Shadow Moltres, Fire Spin Sky Attack, 47.13, Shadow Lugia, Shadow Ho-Oh, Shadow Hanscray, then regular Lugia as well. And then one more category, let's look at the rock type attackers. So right now, Mega Diancie is going to be Rock Throw, Rock Slide at 47.23, Mega Tyranitar, 47.08, Mega Aerodactyl, all rock type there, really strong. Not as strong as a Deancey, 43.32, Black Curum, and then Mega Blaziken out, 42.25, but that is a legacy move. So as far as the Mega Blaziken goes, what is our best recommendations for this Pokemon? Number one, do I suggest doing an Elite TM to get the Rock type move on this Pokemon? Probably not. What I would suggest doing is having 2 or 3 of these at Mega Level 3 once again, which is going to be a little bit of tediousness. It's going to take some Mega Energy, but once you get it there, you're going to have 3 of them. I love the Fire and the Fighting combination. I think it's very effective, especially since we only have one other typing, which is going to be Lopunny at normal and fighting type. So now we have a different type of dual typing to get the double typing for XL Candy. But additionally, what I would suggest doing is have one Blaziken that is going to be all fighting. Because what we didn't check out is Mega Lucario, not out yet, Mega Heracross, but we have Mega Blaziken counter Focus Blast at 4757, followed by Terrakion, which we will check out in a little bit, Shadow Machamp, and so forth. So I would have one Blaziken, all fighting type. Then I would have a second Blaziken that I would put Fire, so it would have to have Blast Burn and Fire Spin in the moveset. And then the second unlocked move, I would have the Brave Bird. And the reason being is that you don't get a Brave Bird with a flying type quick move, so you can have it as a second moveset. That would be really effective. And then on the fighting quick move, if you want to get its most optimal moveset for the strongest it possibly can be, you can dual type it with Fire. I really like this Pokemon dual typing. Once again, not the strongest Fire because the Charizard still beats it out, but it's so multiversed with the Brave Bird moveset, which is really strong actually, and very impressive, which then leads us to the last Pokemon, which is going to be Sceptile. So if we look at Sceptile, the best moveset combination is Fury Cutter and Frenzy Plant at 51.96, Bullet Seed Frenzy Plant at 49.31, and then Fury Cutter Dragon Claw at 42.3, and then we actually have Earthquake on this Pokemon, Fury Cutter Earthquake at 37.12. So if we want to check this Pokemon out in the all grass category, Mega Sceptile at the top, Bullet Seed Frenzy Plant at 49.31, Mega Venusaur Vine Whip Frenzy Plant at 43.72, then we have Kartana, not too far behind the Venusaur honestly, which is really crazy, Zarude not too far behind that, then we have Shadow Tangrowth, Shadow Torterra, Shadow Venusaur, Shaman, and then so forth. And then the other category we do want to check out is it in the Dragon Fast Move. So on the second page, behind White Kyurem, obviously we're not focusing on Mega Salamence, Mega Rayquaza. There's a whole first page that's stronger, including Shadows than this, but it is the 17th spot overall, Fury Cutter and Dragon Claw at 42.3. So if we look at this overall, what are we going to do here? Honestly, this Pokemon, very effective in the grass category. One of my favorite Pokemon for the grass category. It's super strong, not quite as tanky. Venusaur is not unuseful anymore. It is still a poison type hybrid, and it still does great combination for the XL Candy there. But this one is a dragon and a grass. Another one. 2 to 3 I would recommend having at Mega Level 3, just because then you have permanent, almost free Mega Evolutions of these. Not only that, grass category, super strong, and it's got that dual dragon type. So the other thing about all of these Pokemon is maybe you saw in there something like Primal Kyogre and then Mega Swampert. And I'm saying that the Primal Kyogre is going to be better, but just think about it. The Swampert is a very budget counter Primal that's basically the same strength, maybe stronger, maybe a little weaker, depending on what happens, as is a premier legendary Pokemon that does take XL Candy at a premium. So you can do this one without having to pay and raid for it, or you can pay and raid for something that is almost the same, right? So that's why these Hoenn Megas are by far some of the strongest Pokemon and most efficient Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and that's why I suggest you guys do get after these. So get after them. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for being here as always. To all my likers, comments, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes their support, subscription, and pitch to X level. See you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.